Everyone, and welcome to Bahrain, where we are joined by myself, Tucson0208, your Season 1 Premier Series champion, and your Season 2 Premier Series champion.
Hello guys, I am X90G, like Tucson rightly said, Season 2 champion. We've got both Premier Series champions in the commentary box for this season, Season 3 of the Premier Series, and it's going to be, hopefully, an absolutely great and competitive season.
Yeah, certainly. We've got some really drivers who are really close in terms of pace out here on track at the moment. Some returning faces as well. I'm talking about Napula, who's just locked up going to turn 1 in the Haas. Shankster making his return to the Premier Series after finishing runner-up in Season 1. Joe XX steps down from the Super League and into the Racing Point here in the Premier Series as well, currently operating without a teammate thus far. Cash Stengel as well coming up from the Academy and into the Premier Series. We've got Spannel. Remember Spannel, who finished on the podium in the last race of the Academy last season, currently out there in the Renault. F1 lover as well, another Academy driver. Before You Die in the Super League last season finds his way into the Premier this season. Wolfie, who was going to be in the Academy but is now in the Premier and has done numerous GT Sport races. Ted as well, who was in the Academy last season. Guillotine, a returning face. Bon Evil and Thunder, who have both been taking part in the GT Sport League, and Thunder, who drove in the F1 Super League last season. Finally, Tiger Assassin, the man who commentates on pretty much everything here at Gavra Racing, also out there in the McLaren. We've got a lot of faces, a lot of known names and faces, Natty, but who is going to come out on top? Who do you think is looking good after the prelim races?
Yeah, it's going to be close. You've got a lot of quick and competitive drivers, like you say, returning guys of Napula, Shankster coming from the runner-up from the Premier Series. It's definitely going to be tough to call who's going to be on top and who's going to be the most consistent over the 14 races lined up. It's going to be close, but I honestly have no idea. I don't know if I can say so on this early.
Yeah, exactly. But judging from the prelim races, Thunder 50-50 finished top of those standing to the Premier Series. So you must say, goes into this one as a little bit of a favourite, but we're not going to put too much pressure on our good friend Thunder there. With 13 minutes left to go in this session, GSY Bates currently sets the provisional pole time. That being said, Cash Stengel now sets the provisional pole time of 1 minute 25.9, already the fastest lap that we've seen this week. And yeah, this should be a good and close qualifying session for us to enjoy here under the lights in Bahrain.
Yeah, Cash Stengel currently putting it on provisional pole on the soft tyres, so that's pretty much guaranteeing a 2-stop for the race. The softs really don't last very long around Bahrain, so the top 3 actually on the softs. We've got quite a lot of people on the mediums possibly doing some alternate strategy.
Yeah, certainly. Let me get that up on the screen for all of the beautiful ladies and gentlemen joining us this evening. 19 of you so far. Hello to Rick Holt, to Gav, obviously, for joining us in the chat. Piero and Robert Codfather so far. Hope you'll get some more people joining us, giving us a little bit of company as we count down the minutes here in qualifying. Tiger Assassin currently out on a lap now, coming through Sector 2, up through turn 11 and 12. Death Corner, as it's been nicknamed, as claimed. Many a driver has done the fastest middle sector of anybody so far, but invalidates Natty, and that could be a set of medium tyres wasted for Tiger.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to do is little running on your tyres in quali. If Tiger starts inside the top 10 on those mediums, he's going to be starting on those worn mediums, whereas he won't get a fresh set. I think someone's round at the final corner. I think it's absolutely
no. Bon Evil has had a bit of an excursion at the final corner there. Comes back on track perfectly safely and doesn't get in the way of any other drivers. What we like to see. Let's run on board though with Thunder 50-50, the man who finished at the top of the standings in the prelim races. Let's run on board with him now in towards turn 1, braking just before the 100-meter board, down into second gear. Bit of a lock up there at slow speed. Now up through the gears once again. Don't apply all of the throttle. Short shift up to 5th gear, DRS open once again, bring the car over to the left hand side of the track, in fact just off track, braking after the 100-meter board, down into 3rd gear, short shift to 4th on exit, and now it's going to go flat now through turns 5 and 6, downhill right left here into turn 5, drift down to 5th, and then flat for 6. These cars have got so much downforce here. Briefly up in 7th before taking us all the way down into 2nd gear for turn 8, and now we head towards the infamous turns 9 and 10. You've got to turn and brake at the same time. Let's see if Thunder can do it without locking up. Ooh, nearly managed it but couldn't do it on this occasion. Hasn't affected his line through the corner though. DRS is open once again. You see the rich mix coming on the DRS and the hot lap overtake mode in the ERS as well. Deployment through turns 11, and up the hill now towards turn 12. Keeps to the right hand side. Thunder actually not using all of of the track there. That's compromised his line slightly into turn 13. Still has the fastest middle sector of anyone so far. Now back out onto the back straight and down this undulating hill in towards the final corners. Turns 14 and 15. 15 being a little kink after turn 14. Down into fourth gear, not third. So he's got a bit wide. That's compromised his exit now, Natty. And to the line, DRS open for Thunder. Where can he go? It's at 1 minute 27.8. So it goes into fifth position behind Spanel and behind Absolute, Natty, who crucially is on those medium tyres as well.
Yeah, comparing his time to those on the mediums, he's second fastest, 4/10 behind Absolute 11, also on the mediums. All the guys in front of him are on the softs. GSY Bates is actually just, I think he's going out on mediums now, setting his fastest time on softs. So it's going to be interesting to see where the likes of the medium runners are going to put themselves in this quali session compared to the softs. Shankster and Tiger in 6th and 7th at the minute, both on mediums as well. So qualifying, you could say, isn't too crucial around this track. As long as you're ahead of the people in the same strategy as you, then it could be good for you in the race.
Yeah, certainly. I'm looking through the comments here underneath the live stream so far. Hello to Piero, who's come up with an interesting theory. He said this is Tiger's season. I mean, 2 seasons ago, Toussaint won this league, then Natty won it, so now it must be Tiger's turn. Well, he'll be doing everything in his power, I'm sure, to prove you right in that so far, Piero. At the moment, he's on a 1 minute 28.0, which is the same as the fastest lap he's managed in all of the practice sessions that I've seen him do on that medium tyre. Nakula said that he can't use the wheel. I think he's currently under control and not able to use his wheel, but still with a perfectly respectable place up there in P13. Just needs time to get used to the new equipment, I'm sure. Hello to Bon Evil as well, and to Dan saying let's go, predicting Tiger's going to spin out in the race. I'm sure he'll be doing everything in his power to prove you wrong, Dan. So there we go on that one. Thunder coming out onto track, going back into the pit, sorry, at the end of an in-lap, but currently to run you down then. Cash Stengel currently still on provisional pole, the only one of few drivers in the top 10 to start on the soft tyres at the moment.
Yeah, and also just having a look at the teams, we've got a very spread out variety of teams. The top 9, all different teams in the top 9, so constructors looking to be very close this season as well as the bottom half of the grid, also everyone else's teammates. We've still got a few people though who haven't set laps. Team's head with the F1 lover and Isaac Smart, who are all on laps, and we'll see where they can put themselves on the grid with 8 minutes to go.
Certainly. And let's talk about Guillotine for a second here, Natty, because it has proved himself to be a competent driver in qualifying. Particularly, my mind draws back to Hungary a couple of seasons ago in the Super League, where he managed to put his car on 3rd position, but has been someone who hasn't been that lucky with points in terms of his Gavra racing career. In fact, goes wide at turn 10 there, just missing his braking point a bit on this qualifying lap. But what do you expect from Guillotine this season, Natty? I think he'll be looking for, I think, a top 5 in the championship.
I mean, yeah, definitely. He had the pace and quality. We saw that in the Premier Series last season, doing really well at China. He was leading part of that race until he span at the end of the safety car. So I think if he gets the confidence to do well in the race and quality, then he can definitely push himself for top 5 positions, maybe even podiums as well. This league is definitely going to be really close this season. As Guillotine now coming around the final corner, we can see what lap time he's about to do, but decides to come into the pits.
And to answer your question, Piero, we'll be talking strategy once qualifying is over. I'm looking down here at Ben Roberts now, who is currently started his lap on the soft tyres. Our new GT Sport commentator, so if you want to go and check that out, always do so. The video is on YouTube, and of course will be streamed on Twitch on Friday for round 2 at the Kyoto Driving Park Yamajiwa. I hope I said that right to all of our Japanese fans. Anyway, Ben Roberts 4/10 up through the first sector, so this already represents a much better lap time from the Ferrari driver. Coming through turns 9 and 10 now, manages to, just snatches the front left brake there going into the apex of turn 10. Now the DRS open, once again going down in towards turn 11, braking just after the 100-meter board, down into 4th gear, another lock up on the front left. So drivers seem to be really struggling with that front left, Natty. A lot of them seem to be locking that brake up in particular. Oh, he's just set the fastest middle sector, but has gone wide, and that is going to be that particular lap over as it is invalidated. So that's hugely unfortunate for Ben Roberts there.
Yeah, hugely unfortunate. Purple in the middle sector. You saw there a little weave on the straight, maybe a little bit frustrated with himself. Like a small mistake like that can cost him. But he's going to go try and do another run on those soft tyres it seems like. He ended up improving by 6 tenths, even with that little preparation on his lap. So it would have been a good lap from Ben Roberts in the Ferrari, but he's still got 5 minutes to give it another go. He might try and abort this lap if it's not quick, get back to the pits and put another fresh set of soft tyres on for the remaining few minutes in the session.
Yeah, certainly. I think we're getting very close to crunch time here in qualifying, with all of the drivers looking to be gearing up for their final runs in qualifying, try and see who can get up into that top 10 and who will have free choice of tyre. Drivers who still haven't set a lap time here, Natty. Guillotine, who had that mistake on his flying lap. Ted as well, waiting in the pits. Wolfie has just ventured out on track now, and Isaac Smart, Ben Roberts' teammate and co-commentator from the GT Sport League, is also not done a lap time yet. He's just gone out in the Ferrari on another set of soft tyres then. So are we seeing some drivers waiting for the track to rubber in a bit here, maybe, Natty?
Yeah, it looks like Guillotine, Ted and Wolfie are committed to starting on those medium tyres, maybe waiting for the final 5 minutes where the track will be at its quickest, where the rubber's settled in, and if they mess up on one lap, it gives them enough time to save the aero, save the fuel, save the cool down the tyres and go for another flying lap. So Wolfie is out on track at the minute, so is Guillotine. Ted though still in the pits, but I'm sure the McLaren mechanics will be getting that car out on track pretty shortly.
As Thunder puts his Red Bull up into 8th place now, 1 minute 27.7 on those mediums. I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that, Natty. He did a 1 minute 27.4 just a few moments ago in the practice lobby that we were running in, and that would have put him in P7, I think, at the moment, or P6, potentially ahead of Absolute 11 there. So he'll be a bit disappointed with that so far. I don't think he's going to have another run, though, on those mediums, because they're going to be shredded before the beginning of the race. But he has gone for another lap, though, Natty. He's 8 thousandths down through the first set. So let's see what Thunder can do here. He's locked up into turn 7, 8 even, I believe that is, coming down in towards 9 and 10 now. Let's see if he locks the front left. You heard it, but you didn't see it, so he has still managed to keep a fairly committed line through there, and now he's using all of the track on the outside there in towards turn 11. DRS will slam shut as he slams on the brakes into turn 11 and up the gears. Nearly lost the rear there on the exit of turn 11, and I think he has backed out of that lap. Indeed, he has. F1.
Yeah, and I think what... So I was going to say, what Thunder's I think got to look at is he is second quickest on those medium tyres at the minute. And I don't know if he's going to be able to see this, but Absolute 11's equipped with the soft tyres, is still in the pits though, so he might come out on a set of soft tyres, which could put Thunder in a really good position in 8th. A lot of drivers who've done their initial laps on the mediums do appear to be coming out on a set of softs, so it's definitely going to make the end of quali interesting. Who's going to get a good quali position on the softs, and who's going to start the race on mediums?
Yeah, well, certainly there's going to be a big split in strategy, it looks like, here at the moment. As you say, Natty, a lot of drivers have now gone onto that set of red striped soft tyres. You would argue that it doesn't really make much difference for those who currently find themselves outside of the top 10. In fact, Ted has come out on a set of the soft tyres here, Natty, so he spent all that time in the pits waiting on the mediums. He's now come out on a set of softs to do his final flying lap.
So interesting decision from Ted, maybe looking at the time thinking he's going to want to start on the soft tyres and try a different strategy to everyone else. There's a lot of traffic going down at turn 1, but it should be all good for Ted to set his flying lap.
And Natty, I was just spectating Guillotine. He made a big mistake on his flying lap. He's invalidated that lap, and with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, if he doesn't have enough fuel to do another lap here, this could be the end of his qualifying. Got yellows in sector 1 once again. That's an Alfa Romeo going slowly. I think it's Cash Stengel getting out of the way. Indeed it is. Getting out of the way of the Mercedes of Shankster, who is on an outlap. In fact, Natty, Shankster finds himself up in P2 at the moment here.
Yeah, it's a good day at the office so far for the Mercedes team in 2nd and 3rd, but what Thunder's also got to look at is Absolute is now out on track on the soft tyres, so Thunder in a good position to start this race in the mediums if he's doing the one stop. Whether he'll come out on softs, it doesn't look like it. It looks like that Red Bull staying in the garage. Still got the 2 drivers who haven't set times but are on laps. Guillotine's invalidated his time through the middle sector. Ted still on his lap going through turns 11 and 12 now.
And before you died, retires from the session, then looking at Ted, done the fastest middle sector of anybody. He's always going a bit wide through turn 13, but he's managed to keep it on the track. JMB Surreal now retiring from the session. I'm sure just drivers trying to not keep us waiting here as we enter the closing stages of qualifying then. Ted MC round the final corner then. DRS open. Where can this lap time put Ted on the grid? Can he get into the top 10? He can. Goes into P8 then, just behind Absolute 11. 1 minute 27.4. Let's see who else can beat that lap time. Shanks is starting his lap now. Froze is starting his lap just behind, just ahead, sorry, of his brand new teammate. Joe goes into second position now, 26.3 on the soft tyres, Natty, but no one here. No one is challenging Cash Stengel at the front. 1 minute 25.9, sorry.
Yeah, really good lap from Cash Stengel. He's on pole, provisional pole, so by 4/10 as things stand. And we've got Mapula out on a set of soft tyres starting his time. Ben Roberts starting another one of his laps.
And Frozer is 2/10 up here, Natty. Frozer 2/10 up through the first sector. One of our Academy League front runners, certainly a couple of seasons ago. Frozer now looking to stake his claim in the Premier Series here in the Mercedes. His teammate Shanks are just behind him now, coming through turn 10. Let's keep our eye on Frozer here, who could go ahead of his teammate. Currently not enough in the first sector alone to get ahead of his teammate. Let's see what he can do now through the middle sector, down into fourth gear, into third gear even. He's got a bit wide. Has that invalidated the lap? He manages to keep it on the track though, so no dice in terms of invalidation there. Coming through turn sector 2 now, he's 3/10 up here, Natty. This could be a mighty lap from Frozer. Let's see what Shanks is up to. He's now done the fastest for the sector for anybody. And now Frozer coming down the back straight in towards the final corner on the dying moments of qualifying. Can either of the Mercedes boys snatch pole away from Cash Stengel here? As here comes Frozer up to the line. What's it going to be for Frozer? It's a 1 minute 26.5. What can Shanks do now? Can he go in? He goes into second place, Natty. 2/10 of Cash Stengel is coming across the line now. Can Cash Stengel improve on his time? He does, and Cash Stengel goes to pole position with a 1 minute 25.8, 3/10 clear of the next fastest car.
Ben Roberts is up 7/10 on his time, going through the final corner now. The only driver yet to set, the final driver in the session to now come up to the line and set a time. Where can Ben Roberts put his Ferrari? I didn't see.
P8.
I think it's P8.
It looks like P8. It is P8. There you go. Very respectable lap time there for Ben Roberts, the Englishman in the Mercedes. But anyway, let's run you down through the grid here then. So Cash Stengel takes the first pole position of the season, then Shankster in second with Bonneville third, Joe in fourth, Frozer fifth, Napula returning to the Premier Series after a season away is in sixth in the Haas, GSY Bates seventh in the Williams, Ben Roberts eighth, Absolute 11 ninth, and Ted rounds out the top 10 in 10th position, obviously. Spannel in 11th, Thunder 12th, F1 Lover 13th, Tiger, I've been hoping for a bit more from that qualifying session, finds himself down in 14th, Isaac Smart in the other Ferrari in 15th, JMB Surreal 16th, Wolfie in the second of the Red Bulls 17th, Before You Die 18th, and Guillotine rounding out the grid with no lap time set in 19th and last position. But Natty, we promised that we talk about the strategy, so shall we? Soft, medium, or medium hard? That is the question. One stop or two stop? I always recommend for these 50% races going for the one stop because it just saves you so much time, but it's going to be close here, Natty, because the tyre wear is so high.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be down to, do you have the pace to do a two-stop? If you do, then I think you probably could go for it. The tyres do go off really quickly around this track, though, so that's where the one-stop could come into play. Drivers like Absolute, starting in 9th on the mediums, kind of in a hard spot for himself. He's got one person behind him on the softs, and everyone else behind him will be on fresh tyres, so kind of in the worst qualifying position to start on the mediums, everyone else on the softs, so Absolute's just got to take his mediums as long as he can, get that onto the hards. But obviously safety car can change things in this race, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, certainly. I think, Natty, you've just lost that bet that you had with me before we started the stream. For those of you who were interested, Natty bet that Absolute 11 would set his fastest time on the soft tyres, but he's done it on the mediums, so I believe that means I get all of your money now.
No.
Zetic Oreos in the chat, they're saying Guillotine doing the last to first challenge. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be trying. Actually, we've got a predictions on safety cars. Piero saying 0, Rick Holt 1, Scouting Dan say 10. I don't even think we can have 10 safety cars. Hello to Dazza as well in the chat, and Nakula saying he's going to try something different. Nakula obviously infamous for his weird and wacky pit strategies that somehow managed to work, but yeah, it took him to I believe the last time he had the French Grand Prix here, Nakula actually won it on a very strange alternate strategy, but I'm not gonna burst his bubble. If you want to see what it was, I encourage you to go back and watch it.
I don't think Napula's going to try the soft medium, do you?
He could do. He could do.
If he's able to pull off a soft medium, then congrats to that. But no one actually opting to start on the hard tyres. Everyone outside of the top 10, apart from Spano, on the mediums. So
yeah, I think people maybe not wanting to lose too much ground in that opening stint. Obviously, it's really important to stay close to the cars in front of you, because if you're not, then it's not going to make a difference what tyre strategy that you are on. But I'm sure all of the drivers now will be thinking about lap 1, turn 1, get through it without any damage, and then get their heads down and try and get through the rest of this race. We hope we won't see any major incidents off the start. Hopefully no one will disconnect and we'll have the red lights go out as they should. But Natty, the final moments of the formation lap here. It's going to be a season where we're going to have a new champion no matter what happens, and we can't wait to see what's going to happen this season. But the first chapter will be written tonight. It's time for the Premier Series Bahrain Grand Prix to get underway.
And it's definitely going to be an entertaining 14 races in the Premier Series. Last season's and the season before were two great seasons, and hopefully this time we've got 19 drivers on the grid tonight, and well, I think it's going to be an awesome race tonight.
Yeah, certainly. And as Guillotine, who is the last car on the grid but not the last car in the queue, assumes his final grid spot, we're going to go to 5 red lights, and when they go out, we will be racing here for Season 3 of the Premier Series. And hope we're going to go to 5 red lights any moment now. Oh, well, the predicted pit stop strategies came up a bit late there, but there you go. And we are going to go to 5 red lights. I can't see the drivers very well, but the lights are out, and away we go then. The Bahrain Grand Prix. Shanks has had an excellent start, pulling alongside Cash now into turn 1. Cass blocks off his line though, coming down in towards turn 1, and now Joe on the inside in the racing point, making a move, but here comes Bon Evil round the outside now, and they all get through turn 1 relatively cleanly. The Mercedes of Shankster up into second place, Joe's into third, but the other Mercedes of Frozen Nazi has plummeted down the field into 7th position. All clean so far though, as Joe and Shanks are going wheel to wheel into turn 4. Can Shanks hold it round the outside into turns 5 and 6? Oh, Bon Evil just has a look, but has to back out of it there. No crashes so far, not even a yellow flag. Very clean start from all of our drivers. Here comes Bon Evil now, trying it to the outside of Joe in the racing point. Can he make a move around the outside? No, he can't. We've got Isaac Smart, who was almost round at the back there. JMB Surreal coming to a stop in the hairpin as well. They're going to go wheel to wheel though. Bonnie and Joe into turn 10, and Bonnie forces Joe off the track. She'll have to concede that position, and hopefully Joe won't get a penalty for that, but he comes up onto the track behind Bon Evil, and under pressure now from the Williams of GSY Bates, making move down the inside into turn 11. Joe's going to try and keep it round the outside. Joe's round, and Joe is round at turn 11. He has yellows in sector 1, no further damage caused though, and Drew Death corner now. Guillotine going round the outside of F1. The Guillotine's gone off. He saved it. No, he doesn't. And Guillotine's round. After having such an amazing start to this race, Guillotine is round and now finds himself back into 19th position. But at the end of lap 1, it's going to be Cash Dengel, who retains his lead from Shankster in 2nd position, Bon Evil in 3rd, GSY Bates in 4th, Absolute 11, and Froze now going wheel to wheel down the main straight for 5th. Different tyre strategies between these two drivers, and Froze are blasting in front of the AlphaTauri, but can Absolute come down into the inside for turn 1. Froze moving under braking them. That's going to be looked at by the stewards, I am sure, but he nearly made that move, and it could have been disastrous there from Frozer.
An absolutely chaotic start here in the Premier Series. We've had Ben Roberts with wing damage. I'm not sure where he got that from. Isaac Smart making a mistake going wheel to wheel with Guillotine in the middle sector. That's why he went wide. And yeah, an absolutely chaotic start. Froze off the line, just didn't get the launch and got surrounded by everyone going into turn 1. He's down into somewhere. The intervals is completely messed up.
Yeah, same. I can't really tell who's where at the moment.
Yeah, Frozen not off to the best of starts. And unlucky for Joe, down at turn 11, I think, was with that last one.
Yeah, and lap 3. Oh, wait, how is it? Lap 3? I thought. Oh, well, it is lap 3, but lap 3 then, DRS has been enabled. Remember, you will only receive DRS if you are within 1/10 of the car in front of you, just as Jeff says, as the interval gaps do reset themselves. 0.5 of a second, and we've got a car off at dead corner, and it's Spannel. Spannel's round at turn 12 now, and he recovers back onto track with no further incident, and that's been a good move from him. But now we've got Ted going wheel to wheel with Before You Die coming into the final quarter. Ted on the inside, out outbreaks the Haas nearly on the soft tyres. Make sure that before you die, can't get the driver off the corner. Now that allows J&B Surreal to get down the outside, and maybe Wolfie now trying to prey on the back of Before You Die in towards turn 1. Hasn't got the DRS open just yet. In fact, no, it was lap 2 before. This is lap 3 now, so DRS has just been enabled. Sorry, on my screen it said it was lap 3 and it was lap 2. Sorry about that, everybody, but that's just a game from time to time. But our front two, Natty, still separated by only 5/10ths.
Yeah, it's been a good launch from the front two. Frozer was looking for a move on Bates down in zone to turn 1. Couldn't quite get the move done, but is tucked closely behind the Williams through the SS of the middle sector. Might try and look for a move at the end of the DRS.
Oh, Bates is wide. Bates is wide now, and that's going to have Frozer and GSY Bates going wheel to wheel into turns 9 and 10. Frozer with a move around the outside of turn 10. What a move that was from the Mercedes. And Frozer puts his black Mercedes now up into 4th position. But here comes Absolute 11 now on the back of GSY Bates. Looks to the inside line. Can he make the move stick here? No, he can't, with Bates holding it around the outside. Wait a minute. Yes, he can, because here comes Absolute 11 now sweeping around the outside of GSY Bates and up into 5th position.
And an absolute chaotic start here. Absolute 11 in a really good position on the mediums as Napula's going to try and go wheel to wheel with Bates down into the final corner, and the Haas goes down the inside of Bates. He's going to try and hold it around the outside, and Napula gets the move done up into 6th place, runs Bates wide, but Bates is now going to have the DRS and the slipstream in towards turn 1. He's using his overtake button. Napula defends the inside line. Bates chooses to go to the outside, but Napula's later on the brakes.
Oh, as F1 Lover goes very wide into turn 1, locks up and goes off the track, and that allows Joe and Thunder through and up into 8th and 9th position. So the two McLarens very close together. Are we going to see some team orders here? In fact, I think the Arcos Tiger isn't fighting that one too hard. These two on different tyre strategies at the moment then, and Ted being allowed up into 11th position. Let's see if he can although he's gone saying that, he's gone wide and given the position straight back to Tiger there.
The team and Isaac Smart going wheel to wheel into turn 4. Isaac Smart getting the move done up into 17th place. Glitton trying to go down the inside. Just couldn't quite get the move done on the Ferrari. Might send one as Isaac Smart's locked up, and there's a little bit of contact, wheel banging between the Williams and the Ferrari, who are going to go wheel to wheel now down towards turn 9 and 10, but Isaac Smart's just able to get ahead for now.
And I think Cash Stengel up in front has made a mistake, Natty, because that gap was 1.1 seconds. It's now less than a second, with Cash Stengel going wide once again. And here comes Shankster now, preying on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Could we see a move for the lead of the race here on lap 4, going on to lap 5? Through the final corner they come. DRS will be wide open for Shankster in the Mercedes then. DRS open now for Shankster. He's gaining on Cash Stengel, now gaining all the time. They both have exactly the same amount of DRS available. Is Shankster close enough to make a move into turn 1? It's going to be a late braking manoeuvre if he goes for it, but doesn't go for it. Locks up, in fact, into turn 1, and GSY Bates has made his way past Napula, almost going through white. There's contact. Napula loses his front right end plate there. Here comes Frozen now trying to work his way round the outside, has the inside for turn 2. They're going to go wheel to wheel now up through turn 3 and in towards turn 4. DRS wide open for the Mercedes. Napula has to slot in behind and concede the position.
Yeah, that front wing end plate damage is going to affect Napula a lot around this track. Might pit in early from those soft tyres, maybe try and change his strategy that he was talking about earlier. But Joe making an early pit stop from the softs onto another set of softs, so it's a definite 2-stop from the Racing Point driver, currently down 18th at the minute. But we've got so many battles on track at the minute. It's been such a great start to this race.
Yeah, certainly. What a way to kick off the first 5 laps of the season here, with Shankster still keeping Cash Stengel under relentless pressure. Remember, our season 1 runner-up in the championship, Shankster 11 here. Oh, I think something's happened to a McLaren, Natty. Is that Ted?
Yeah, Ted Havitt losing the rear on the exit of turn 10, was able to catch it well, but dropped him down to 13th as Frozen is looking for a move on Bates in towards turn 12, gets the move done up into 5th place. Thunder going around the outside of Napula into turn 13, into turn 12 and 13. They're still going to go wheel to wheel, but it looks like Thunder's going to get the move done up into 7th place. A really good move from the Red Bull there.
Yeah, certainly. In fact, we've got both Absolute and Thunder, who started the race on those medium tyres, don't forget, currently in 4th and 7th, and Cash Stengel's in the pits. And is that an early stop from Cash Stengel, because he was coming under increased pressure from Shankster behind him? Is this an early stop? goes onto a set of the medium tyres. Those won't be enough to get him to the end from here, so that is a 2-stop commitment then from our previous race leader, Cash Stengel. That title now goes to Shankster, and you've got yellows in sector 1, Natty, and there's a red, is it Thunder? Thunder's round at turn 1, and that's made him fall back behind his teammate now, down into 10th place.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I think the Red Bull just got a little bit out of shape on the exit of turn 1. Initially Bates got ahead of Frozer into turn 1, but Frozer was able to get the move done back up into 4th place going into turn 4. But there's a big train behind F1 lover. Tiger, James Surreal, Wolfie, Thunder, and Before You Die all catching up to the back of it.
And Tiger looking very unhappy in that McLaren at the moment, just spectating him from this lovely helicopter shot, it must be said, going through turns 5 and 6. Looks like he has just a little bit too much understeer in that car for his liking. Remember, drivers can adjust their front wing angles at the pit stop. It's one of the only things they're allowed to change on the fly or in the pit stop once the car has stopped. Going through turn 11 then, Isaac Smart picking up a 3-second time penalty. In fact, we haven't seen many of those, Natty, so far in this race. Only 2 drivers copping a penalty so far. JMB Surreal pushing the back of Tiger through that corner, as I think Thunder has also been let through by his teammate on that lap. But does Shankster react to Cash Stengel? He doesn't, Natty. So Shankster staying out for another lap. We've got a car going into the pits in the background. That's Bon Evil then. So Bon Evil reacting straight away to Cash Stengel coming into the pits. In fact, the pit window has now just opened there, as you can see on the right hand side. Comes in for a set of the medium tyres then. So Bon Evil also going to that 2-stop strategy. We've got Williamson as well. That must be Bates, who has been slightly held up by the Alpha Tauri of Bonnie.
Thunder getting the move done around the outside of JMB Surreal into turn 1. JMB Surreal was actually looking for a move on Tiger down the inside. Wasn't expecting the Red Bull to be on his outside.
Speaking of Tiger,
down the inside of F1 lover, just couldn't quite get the move down there, but good move from Thunder up into 6th place.
Yeah, certainly. So Thunder trying to make up for lost time after that mistake at Death Corner, let's call it. Another Death Corner claim there. Oh, as I thought Tiger might have gone for a big send down the inside of F1 lover, known for his big sends in the world of GT Sport. Can Tiger go for a move into turn 10? Will he be patient and wait for the DRS? And indeed he does, but F1 lovers had a very poor exit, and now here comes Tiger with DRS, with overtake, makes his way to the inside line, going down in towards turn 13. Let's get all the UI off the screen as Tiger makes this move down the inside, and he gets himself up into 4th position. That is on track, but will not be after the pit stops have filtered out. I'm coming back up here to Shankster, Natty, because is he going to stay out, or will he come into the pits? And Shankster has stayed out.
I was looking at the delta between him and Absolute on that last lap, and it's come down by 4, 5, maybe even 6 tenths on that lap alone. His pit window's open now for the medium tyres, it says in Shankster's strategy.
And Frozer's in.
Is that a 2-stop for the Mercedes? Is he going to take his softs so far that he can do a 1-stop onto the hards? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
And Thunder going wheel to wheel with F1 lover now down the main straight in towards turn 1. Thunder late on the brakes, makes a forceful but fair move on F1 lover and puts his Red Bull up into 4th position. You can see Tiger just in front of him now as well.
Yeah, Cash Stengel getting the move done there. Getting the move done down the inside of Guillotine. I just had a bit of lag spike on my end, so I thought there was a big crash, but all clean.
And Joe coming out ahead of Frozer then after the first round of pit stops. But Natty, is Shankster trying to go for a 1-stop here? It could be done. It sounds crazy, but he could do it.
I think if he takes his soft tyres 1 or 2 more laps maybe, I think it could be possible for him. But looking at where Joe is as well, he came into the pits, well, he had a half spin, came out of the pits and is now ahead of Frozer.
Yeah, certainly. So he's really been pushing on
a really good position.
Definitely, but what we've got to look at here though, Natty, is Cash Stengel, because Shanks is staying out all the time. Granted, he's losing time to Absolute 11 behind him now, but Cash Stengel is going to be catching traffic in the next few laps that he has to overtake. So maybe staying out for a few more laps, it could pay dividends for Shankster in the end, but he does come into the pits now, Natty. Have those couple of laps been enough for him to be able to go onto a set of hard tyres and go to the mediums? So Shanks is still making a commitment to a 2-stop strategy there, and that's very surprising. So it calls into question then why he stayed out for so long. So he's definitely going to drop out behind Cash Stengel now with a much bigger gap to what he was before. Surely from that point, Natty, he should have committed to trying a 1-stop.
Yeah, unless he's going to be able to stretch those mediums out. As Thunder's looking for a move on Tiger into turn 1. There's a little bit of contact, Thunder on the inside. But Tiger's able to keep 2nd place for now.
And Thunder going down the inside in towards turn 4, then DRS Snapshot, he makes a move on the McLaren. Thunder up into second place on the road. But we've
now got to close in 12 seconds to Absolute, both in the same tyre strategy. So Absolute 11's got a really good start to this race.
Yeah, certainly. 12 seconds ahead of his nearest rival. Absolute 11 will surely be looking behind him and wondering, where is everybody? He's just been racing everyone for the past 8-9 laps. Now he finds himself completely on his own, but he needs to run his race now. He needs to run his strategy, make sure there's no mistakes, hope there's no safety cars, and just keep going as he is. Because Cash Stenger now is just catching up to the back of this pack. Wolfie making a move down the inside of JMB. Surreal potentially. JMB goes wide. That's going to give Wolfie a run on the outside into Death Corner. Can he go round the outside of turn 12? He can go round the outside of turn 12, Natty. Wolfie holding it round the outside into 13, and he's through. And is that before you die? Before you die has gone round, and he's stuck there on the apron of the track. He reverses back onto the track now and has managed to get back going again. But we've got a Ferrari off. A Ferrari of Isaac Smartman. He's retired from the session. Could that be a safety car here, Natty?
It doesn't look like the game's going to pull one out from that. They've still got yellow flags in the middle sectors. Isaac Smart's car pulls away. Here comes JMB Surreal though, looking for a move on Wolfie. He wasn't quite close enough to go down the inside, but definitely looked for one. But yeah, once again the full guy, just like some other drivers in this race, getting on the curb through turn 12. He's now under pressure from Joe. In the racing point, he's going to look for a move down the inside of the Haas and gets to move down before the corner.
And it certainly looks like here now the two Mercedes have lost out massively. We've got Throzer down in 13th, Shankster with those extra laps that he did on the soft tyres, currently down there in 9th position. Cash Stengel though is just coming up to that traffic that they're all in the battle, they're all fighting for position. They do not have to let him through. If Cash Stengel wants to get after Absolute here, he has to do it on track. That being said, JMB Surreal trying to get down the inside of Wolfie, and there's a big spin into turn 10, a big Tokyo drift, 90 degrees entry, and JMB Surreal just manages to save it and not crash into a barrier there. So well held from JMB Surreal, but that could have been a disaster there for the Renault.
Yeah, and luckily for Wolfie as well, didn't get front wing damage or any damage from that slight contact he had with the Renault. But like you say, the grid is starting to closing up but open up at the same time with the different strategies. Shankster losing it to Cash Stengel.
Yeah.
Joe still in this battle for a top spot.
And speaking of Cash Stengel now, he's all over the back of Wolfie as we make our way through the final corner. That gap out in front, still 12.1 seconds between Thunder and Absolute, but Wolfie's had a bad exit. Here comes Cash Stengel now. Not even a question as to whether or not he can get up into 5th place. If you show Cash Stengel an open door, he'll take it, and he goes up into 5th position now.
Shankster as well, getting the move done on the Guillotine down the start-finish straight with the DRS and overtake. Guillotine on those 10-lap mediums didn't really get the best of exits through the final corner, and the Mercedes is back up into 8th place.
And Tiger's still keeping Thunder under pressure here, but Absolute 11 is just being able to romp away at the front at the moment. But as Piero has just said in the chat, Absolute could easily win this with all of the battles behind him. Yes, certainly. Certainly, I think that mistake by Thunder earlier on has really cost him in this race, because he's now way back from Absolute, where he ideally wants to be challenging him for the win of that race. That being said, the gap has now come down to 11.7 seconds, so Thunder's starting to get on with it here. Tiger has now lost the DRS behind him. F1 Lover behind Tiger now as well, as he has been for a few laps now. Will we see some bit of a Alfa Romeo team orders here between Cash Stengel and F1 Lover Cass, currently 1.8 seconds behind his teammate. But let's look at the gap now, Natty, between Absolute 11 in first and Cash Stengel in 5th place as it stands. Currently 15.4 seconds, so not enough for a pit stop here, but it's just going to be so interesting as to how this one plays out. We're going to enter a bit of a calm period, I feel like, before things really start to hot up towards the end of this race.
Yeah, the final few laps when everyone comes into the pits and everyone's not due to make another pit stop as well, it's definitely going to get a bit heated coming towards the end of the race and all for track position. But like I say, that mistake Thunder made, costing him a lot of time, and Absolute just being in clear air for the majority of this race has just allowed him to pull out that 11.6 second gap he has. And Thunder getting
Throzer and Joe are going wheel-to-wheel into turn 1. Joe made the defence very late. That's not going to deter Throzer on the inside, but Joe keeps it round the outside, or does he? Because now Throzer swoops round the outside in towards turn 2, and he puts his black Mercedes up and towards 11th position.
Yeah, good move from Throzer there as well. Bonnie Evil looking for the move on Guillotine now within 3 tenths of a second. Guillotine's tyre starting to go off a little bit. Being on those mediums for 11 laps now. Bon Evil getting a good run through turn 8, but I'm not sure she'll try something in towards turn 9 and 10. But definitely look for something in towards turn 11.
Too far back on this occasion, Natty, but with the DRS now, down in towards turn 11, can she get past Guillotine? I think they've got a car off, it's Napula. Napula round at turn 6, Natty. Oh, and he's nearly lost it again under the power. And now Castangle all up behind F1 Lover for the battle in 4th position between the two Alfa Romeo teammates. Will F1 Lover fight his teammate too hard? I say Absolute in the pits, Natty. Absolute 11 has come into the pits here. And does Thunder stay out? Thunder does stay out. So where will Absolute 11 come back out now? This must be for the hard tyres. Indeed it is. So that will be to the end of this race.
And it doesn't look like anyone else is going to follow him in apart from Shankster, who's into the pits.
Shankster?
After 3 laps on the mediums, he's got wing damage.
I can't see from the... I think he has got wing damage now, because this has been a very long stop for Shankster. So picking up wing damage goes onto a set of the hard tyres, and that will be to the end of the race. But, oh, that's hugely disappointing for Shankster. It seems it never rains but it pours for Mercedes in Bahrain.
As Bon Evil getting the move done on Guillotine up into 7th place, and well, everyone else staying out on the mediums would love a safety car right about now.
Oh yeah,
with,
certainly.
Absolute just coming into the pits, and probably the prime time for the one-stoppers to make their scheduled pit stops.
Oh, as Castanger now all behind Tiger Assassin will have DRS down this back straightaway here to try and get past the McLaren driver in towards turn 11, but the McLaren seems to just have a bit more straight line speed. Oh, that might be why, because Tiger has also exhausted all of his ERS, but Castanger behind him has got 82% left, Natty. So this should really be a formality as to Castanger getting past the McLaren. Lock up from Tiger as well is going to allow Castanger to merely force the issue, then in towards the final corner. Can Cascat make a move down to the inside? Will he wait for the DRS? So you can see Tiger's McLaren is charging its battery. I'm not sure he's going to have much to play with it down the main straight, just 13% here, as the DRS will be open for Castanger. In fact, it doesn't matter, because Tiger's coming into the pits, and Thunder joins him in the pit lane.
Yeah, Castanger starting on the soft tyres is on, what's that, 7-lap stretcher mediums to the guys who have just come into the pits now for their scheduled one stop onto the hards.
And Thunder's been held in the pit lane. Tiger's had a bit of a slow stop as well, coming out onto the hard tyres, but those will take them to the end of this race here, Natty.
And just looking at where they're going to come out, Thunder in, what's that, behind Ted. So Absolute is, well, I'm going to guess everyone else is still yet to make a pit stop, so Absolute, Thunder and Tiger in a good position for the podium as things stand at the minute.
Yeah, certainly, but they need to make sure they stay on pace in this stint. Absolute 11 really pushing now. It's just done the fastest first sector of absolutely anybody here so far.
I think Ted and Bates is probably the closest battle. Actually, there's Spanner and Guillotine. Guillotine going deep in towards turn 4. Here goes Spanner on the inside. They might go wheel to wheel into the start of the S's. The Renault on the inside decides to back out.
And yeah, just had to concede that position there. Did the Renault, he's going to try again on Guillotine in towards turn 8, but can't make any kind of a move stick there at the moment. Only one driver who has not managed to finish this race, but this is where Natty Castanger really needs to put his foot down, because he can't afford to have that gap between himself and Absolute be too big when he comes back out of the pits on a fresh set of the soft tyres, you would assume. Let's have a look at the gap between Absolute and the leader. Currently 8.4 seconds here. So it must be said it's advantage Absolute at the moment, who will find himself in 3rd place once Wolfie has made his pit stop. But Castanger now in the lead by 8.2 seconds back to Absolute. That's not enough. That's really not enough. A pit stop here is about 20-something seconds, and this is exactly what I was saying before, and actually the 2 stop is a very risky strategy here.
Yeah, Absolute is definitely pushing on those hards, just setting the fastest lap of the race on those fresh set of hards. It's definitely on pace to keep up with those guys in the mediums in front.
And Ted had DRS open, looked like he was going to make a move on GSY Bates, but backed out of it going into turn 4. Oh, and he spun! And Ted spun round here. He's on a Sebastian Vettel, he pulls it back in the right direction and gets moving once again. But Ted spinning at the exit of turn 4, needs to be careful of cars behind him, but no extra damage done there. And good driving from Ted to bring it back on track relatively safely. But it's gone off track again and gone through the gravel. little now, but he manages to keep it all together and the car pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, those mediums would have been cooked after his spin. Maybe just not wanting to risk anything, deciding to take through the corner cutting in the middle sector. Did give places to Wolfie and Jamie Cyril, losing down now into 11th place, but will try and regain his focus and make up those positions lost in the remaining 14 laps of this race. Absolute 11's quite up to the back of his teammate now.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, Natty, absolute 11 now, all over the back of Bon Evil, his teammate. She won the weekend league a couple of races ago. Absolute 11 won the freshman league a couple of months ago now, and now champion versus champion in towards turn 1, and Absolute makes the move on his teammate, then up into 2nd position. Can he get after Absolute, after Cashtengel, sorry, because Absolute now is effectively a pit stop ahead of Bon Evil.
Yeah, the absolute 11 just played his strategy to pure perfection, not getting involved in any of those battles behind. Was able to pull up the gap as JMB's always going to go for a move down the inside of Wolfie in towards turn 1. Moves his runner up into 9th place for now, but here comes Wolfie, might try and retake the position, and it is JMB who's going to have the BRS and just pull away from the Red Bull in towards turn 4.
It must be said here also, Nat, that Thunder and Tiger, I know we've said it a lot before, but they're looking very, very good for a podium position here. Although that being said, their gap is currently 21.4 seconds to Cashtengel, and don't forget, Cass will have brand new rubber to go and chase down those drivers who are currently on the hard tyres. So whether or not they'll be able to hold on to those positions is definitely questionable. In fact, it's looking less and less likely now for Tiger. The gap there being 25.3 seconds as now Thunder makes me down the inside of GSY Bates to put himself up into 5th position. Bates has the traction though round the outside in towards turn 12 now. Can Thunder make a move in towards turn 13? Can't do it on this occasion, but he's nearly hit the back of GSY Bates under braking and cashes into the pits early. And that's quite early then for Cashtengel. So again, pulling the plug on the pit strategy very early. It's another set of the mediums, Natty. And that is surprising. I would have expected him to go a couple more. Oh, for the car round, and Joe's out! Joe's out of the session. Can we see what's happened to the racing point? I think that's a manual retirement because his car's just in the middle of the road here. I believe he spun at turn 13, then manually retired the car. So that's not going to be a safety car, or shouldn't be. If it is, that's a big heartbreak for Cashtengel. Still yellow flag to sector 3. I expect that car will despawn. Indeed it has. So we're going to go back to clear green flag racing here in Bahrain. But crucially, oh, sorry.
As I said, the gap between Cashtengel and Thunder is quite minimal. It's only about 1.5 seconds now, so Cashtengel in those fresher mediums is definitely going to be pushing on Bates and Thunder in front, so I'm not sure it's going to be enough for him to catch up to Absolute 11.
He currently finds himself 16.5 seconds behind Absolute 11. We've got just over 10 laps left to run in this Grand Prix, but Cashtengel has to clear all of this traffic and then chase down Absolute 11, who it must be said has got supreme pace here at the moment on those hard tyres then. Cashtengel then looking at the back of GSY Bates and go wheel to wheel into turn 12. Cashtengel round the outside at turn 12. No fear, pure bravery, and Cashtengel with a superb move moves his Alfa Romeo up into 5th position, and he's just got underneath the DRS detection point for Thunder 50-50 as well in front of him. We've got another car around, and that's the Mercedes, and it's that Shankster.
Shankster's got wing damage.
And got wing damage again, so his day goes from just good to bad to even worse for Shankster in the Mercedes, and he finds himself in 14th position and with wing damage absolutely everywhere on his car. That's going to be another trip to the pits for the Mercedes driver, as Cashtengel now already onto the back of Thunder 50-50 here.
Yeah, I think with Shanks, I think him and Ben Roberts collided, but here comes Cashtengel now to the inside of Thunder, and on the much quicker, fresh medium tyres, gets to move down the inside.
Thunder gets to switch back.
Trying to close down that massive gap to Absolute 11 though.
Yeah, he's currently got Frozer and Bon Evil in front of him, but Frozer's 7.7 seconds behind now. So we're going to have to wait and see how this one plays out. Still 39 of you watching, which is great to see, guys. We love having you along with the for the ride with us. So let's have a look to go back through the chat. Joe spun and manually retired the car. Thank you, Adam Adam for subscribing for tier 1. If you want to drop us a quick gift sub, that would be greatly appreciated. I believe tokens cost about $5.99 for a 1 month subscription, so if you do want to support the channel and like seeing racing that you love to bring you, then please do drop a sub. Hello to Techers as well, who says predictions, yes. So I'm obviously getting something right there. Tim saying a lot of people on the 2-stop. Yeah, that is surprising, as Bon Evil makes her way into the pits now for another set of the medium tyres, puts them on and exits the pit box. Although, that's a slow stop. Oh no, sorry, that was just a lag spike. So Bon Evil making her way down into the pit exit now. Where does she come back out? She's going to be behind Wolfie here, and in 10th position, so behind Wolfie but still ahead of the Williams of Guillotine.
Yeah, the field's starting to open up just a little bit, but everyone in those fresh and medium tyres, this is where their race now comes into play. They've got to push for these final 10-11 laps in this race and try and gain on those one-stoppers who might be struggling a little bit on those hard tyres.
Yes, certainly, but Cash Tango now only 14 seconds behind, so he's gained 2 seconds across those 2 laps, but he's going to need a lot, he's going to need a bit more time than that. The gap to Absolute 11 currently stands at 14.1 seconds, so he needs over a second a lap now to catch Absolute. Has Cash Tango opted for the wrong strategy here?
If he's got Frozer behind on 10 lap old medium, still yet to make a pit stop. He surely can't do 10 more laps in those mediums, so he's probably going to be into the pits, and then Cash Dengel, that's what, 14 seconds behind Absolute 11 with 10 laps to go. He's going to need a safety car if he's to win this race, or a mistake from Absolute.
Yeah, certainly. One of the two will definitely suffice. Bon Evil all over the back of Wolfie, going to make a move down the inside, down the back straight as Froze, as you correctly predicted. Natty comes into the pits then, and will be changing off those mediums, maybe for a set of the soft tyres to get to the end of this race. But Bon Evil gets the move done before we even get to the final corner. Goes a bit wide off the circuit, but manages to keep everything intact. Froze, indeed, does go for a set of the soft tyres then, Natty. So only driver out on track who is using those soft red striped soft tyres as Wolfie coming back at Bon Evil now into turn 1, backs out of it under braking then. So Frozer, only person out on track on those red marked soft tyres. Let's see what he can do.
Yep, Frozer on those softs will also try and go for fastest lap. He's got some clean air in front of him to do it, and I believe Absolute currently has the fastest lap on his hard tyres. It's 1 minute 29.8 for Absolute 11 at the minute. Frozer's fastest lap on 30.7, but is on a fresh set of soft tyres here to try and give that a go and get an extra point in this race.
Yes, and we were saying how Thunder and Tiger are looking in a really good position to go and get some podium positions here. Thunder currently finds himself up in 3rd position, Tiger up in 5th, and only 1.4 seconds behind GSY Bates. In fact, that gap has now been lessened because GSY Bates, you just saw on screen, has now picked up a 3-second time penalty. So if Tiger can just avoid that gap from extending by a further 1.5 seconds, he could still finish in 4th position here.
Yeah, definitely. Bates on 12 lap mediums is either going to have to pit or save those tyres. I'm not sure those tyres are going to go to the end on that Williams. He might be into the pits this lap for a set of soft tyres, as he is into the pits this lap. So that will release Tiger into 4th place to try and hunt down Thunder, as Bates actually gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
That's so easy to do around here. Very peculiar pit lane where you just come off the track and have to slam on the anchors very quickly to slow down for the pit lane speed limiter entry. 13.2 seconds then separates our top 2, with Bon Evil now closing on the back of JMB Surreal.
Yeah, we've got a 3-way battle here for 5th place between F1 lover JMB Surreal and Bon Evil. And Bon Evil on those fresher mediums it's going to have the better grip compared to those 6-lap old hards on the Renault and the Alfa Romeo. It's just a matter of time of when the Alfa Tauri gets the move done. And also Bon Evil's got a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to have to get the move done now and push for it to try and extend the gap to 3 seconds.
As I come in towards turn 10, then can Bonnie make a move on J&B at this stage? Not at the moment. Then DRS will be opened once again here down the back straight, and J&B Surreal leaving to try and break the slipstream. Always nearly has a look there. Does Bonnie well into turn 11 but can't make a move on this occasion. Oh, J&B and Bonnie now going wheel to wheel through turns 12 and towards turn 13. Can she make a move down the inside? No, she doesn't on this occasion.
And just bringing away from that battle slightly, Frozer set the fastest middle six of anyone, but that gap between Absolute and Cash Stengel isn't coming down a lot on what Cash Stengel needs to win this race. It's only come back down by about a second in the last lap. But with 7 laps to go, it's not going to be enough for the Alfa Romeo to win this race.
As J&B's field just ran out of DRS, Bonnie's still got plenty left. Gonna look to the outside line now in towards turn 1. Can she make this move round the outside? J&B's field locks up, but that's not going to deter Bonnie Evil, who goes round the outside of J&B and puts her AlphaTauri up into 6th position then. Close on the back of F1 Lover now. Could it be 2 moves in 2 corners? You bet it can, because Bonnie Evil's gone down the inside into turn 4. DRS closed and up into 5th position. And Tiger now, Natty, is just in front of her for 4th. She's trying to hunt down Thunder, who currently sits in 3rd.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds to Tiger Assassin in front, but Bonnie Evil, like I was just saying earlier, has that 3-second time penalty. Thunder as well with a 3-second time penalty, but is 8.5 seconds clear of the McLaren behind. So if Bonnie's to finish in 4th place in this race, then she's going to have to put the foot down and gain about 5 seconds in the next 5-7 laps. So it's going to be a tough job from the AlphaTauri, so it's going to have to be a push for her in these last few laps.
And it must be said, Cash Stengel is going to really need for those hard tyres to fall off, or if he needs to find something very, very special in these last 7 laps here, because he's still 10.6 seconds behind now. Absolute, who currently still leads this race on a one-stop strategy, has been on those hard tyres for the last 9 laps here, Natty. But he just needs to try and take it home now. The gap's 10.7 seconds, so it is coming down, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, hopefully Absolute 11 doesn't have a Netherlands moment from last season from the freshman. And we don't want something like that to happen to him. But it's looking good for him at spin stand. 10.7 second gap, and he's got some mega pace in those hard tyres to keep Cash Stengel at a reasonable distance behind.
F1 Lover widen to turn 1. Could that give J&B Surreal a chance now? Has got the better traction through turn 2. Can he move to the inside then? F1 Lover's going to cover it off. Both cars have DRS. Oh, it's J&B. Tried to look for a move around the outside of the Alfa Romeo, but had to back out of it at the last second there.
J&B Surreal putting all over the back of F1 Lover. He thinks he's got the pace in that runner to try and do moves on the Alfa Romeo. He's going to dive it down the inside. Both drivers lock up. F1 Lover's running a little bit wide. Now going to go wheel to wheel in towards turn 9 and 10. It's going to be F1 Lover on the inside. But covers off the Renault.
Oh, tried to get the cut back there, but F1 Lover expertly parked his car on the apex. Here comes Frozer though now on those soft tyres, making a move on J&B Surreal and trying to put his Mercedes now up into 2nd place with a solid move down the inside. And Ben Roberts is retired from this session now, Natty, and he's crashed at turn 6. I cannot see where that car is though. I think that's another manual retirement then for Ben Roberts, as his car has now just come back out onto the racetrack and will park up there and retire from the race. 9.9 seconds now between our front 2 at the moment then. Just gone back up to 10.0 even as we head down in towards turn 1 now on board with Cash Stengel trying his best to try and chase down Absolute 11. But Bonnie has caught Tiger here. Does Tiger go defensive? No, he doesn't. He knows that he's not fighting Bonnie in this race, and Bonnie's going to make an easy move down the inside then and puts the her AlphaTauri up into 4th position.
Froze as well, getting past F1 Lover down the start finish straight. F1 Lover didn't fight it. He knows that Froze is on the quicker tyres and just let the Mercedes fly by down the straights, and moves himself up into 6th place with the fastest lap as well to his name.
Trying to find the, there we go, position change. So, who have been our biggest movers and shakers in this race? Absolute 11 up 8 positions from where he started, so excellent race from him. Our biggest movers have been Guillotine, who finds himself in the last of the points paying positions, and Tiger Assassin, who's also moved up 9 positions, as well as Thunder, who've all moved up 9 positions from where they started off in this race. Our biggest loser has been Shankster, who it must be said has had an absolutely torrid time of this race here in Bahrain. It started up in 2nd position, but finds himself in 16th, Natty, and that is just a sign of how quickly things can turn around in sim sports.
Yeah, got wing damage twice. I didn't see when he got the first time, but yeah, really unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. That cost him a lot of time in this race. Finds himself in 16th, but there is still 13 races after this for him to try and recover. We know from last season bad things happened to me in the first race of the championship. So there's still plenty of time for Shanks to try and make it all up.
Yeah, I think Natty almost holds the record for shortest amount of time before crashing into a wall, or being crashed into a wall in a Raider season. It was literally about 2 seconds, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, here comes JB Surreal diving it down inside of F1 Lover. F1 Lover's going to try the switchback move, but JB Surreal is able to keep it ahead just enough, but JB Surreal's going to, F1 Lover on the inside, and we'll get the move going up into 7th place. JB Surreal is going to try and fight it back on the outside in towards turn 4. Try and hold it around the outside. And they're still going to go with Surreal, but JB Surreal gets to move down up into 7th place.
Oh, what does he do? There's contact between the two, and F1 Lover is round and loses a part of his front wing, and Wolfie now trying to make a move on the outside, down the inside into turn 8. Oh, and there's more contact. No damage done to either car, but F1 Lover just not looking in his mirrors there and unaware of the red ball around him. But he's now got wing damage off of that battle with JB Surreal.
Yeah, F1 Lover was a little bit too far back for that.
Frozer on Tiger, and sorry Nasty, but Tiger moved very late there, and Frozer just managed to duck out of the stitching with the McLaren and avoid a collision and go round the outside.
Yeah, really unfortunate for F1 Lover. I think he just put his nose in a position where it's tough to go with wheel into the S's, and yeah, unfortunate for F1 Lover. Down from 9th place, he's got a 7-second gap to get a team behind. So might be able to catch up to Wolfie potentially. It was looking good for a solid 9th place in this race.
Wolfie though trying all over the back of J&B Surreal has got DRS now coming down in towards turn 1. J&B moves to the inside trying to break the slipstream there of Wolfie behind him. Wolfie's surely too far away to make a move. They both have virtually no ERS left now as we make our way onto lap 26 or 29. But a very clean race so far, Natty. All of our drivers more or less keeping it out of the walls. The only retirements we have had have been manual ones. Can Wolfie make a move? It's going to be late braking. I thought he was going to send that there. He broke so much later when the Renault did in towards turn 4. So Wolfie then knowing perhaps where he's stronger than J&B Surreal, where J&B Surreal is stronger than him. Bonneville though still 9.7 seconds now behind Thunder, so Thunder looking very good for a podium position here, it must be said. Oh, as Frozer gets a bit squirrely on exit, now has DRS open though. Both Frozer and Bonnie have got similar levels of ERS to play with, only about 1% difference between the two. Down into 3rd gear then for turn 11. Is Frozer close enough to try anything here? Is Wolfie close enough to try anything on J&B Surreal? Too far back on this occasion though, but Frozer and Bonnie now very, very close together out on track. Frozer is still the only person on a set of soft tyres in this race. 2 laps to go then. Absolute 11 still leads by 8.9 seconds, and it must be said it looks like Cash Dengel has opted for the wrong strategy here. And on towards lap 27 now. Here come Frozer and Bonneville now. Frozer with DRS open. Bonnie's going to try and defend this as best as she can. The gap's 0.5 of a second, closing all the time. Can Frozer go for a late send into turn 1? Doesn't go for it this time, but Wolfie has gone for a move on J&B Steel, getting past the Renault before we even get to the next braking zone.
Yeah, J&B Steel didn't get the best of exits through the final corner, allowed Wolfie to last pass with the DRS, but Frozer not quite close enough to get the move down on Bonneville this time round. But Tiger's going to be...
Sorry, Natty.
Tiger's going to be... Yeah.
No, so I was going to say, because Frozer nearly lost the car at turn 4, but go ahead, what you were saying about Tiger.
I was going to say, Tiger's really seeing Bonneville with that 3-second time penalty, and it's 2.6 seconds behind Bonnie.
Bonneville suddenly lost it, and that's allowed Frozer through, and just as you were saying that, Natty, you've given Tiger a blessing there, as that 3-second gap suddenly looks a lot more achievable then for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, 2.2 seconds to Bonneville with the 3-second time penalties. It's definitely going to be close. With these final 2 laps to go, Tiger's going to want Bonneville to battle with Frozer, and for her to cost herself a lot of time in this race, and now Tiger to catch up, so he's guaranteed the 5th position. But yeah, it's going to be close between at the end of this race.
Yeah, certainly. Just looking in the chat, then we had a poll for the driver of the day, and everyone voting for Absolute 11. They're close between Absolute and Thunder. Only 1 vote in it then. If you did forget to vote, then Sorry. We're going to keep going on to lap 28 of 29 here, and what's been a very clean race for the first one in the Premier Series. But here comes Bon Evil then on the back of Froza, trying to get back her 4th position. Froza goes defensive, Bonnie's going to go around the outside into turn 1. What a move that was! Around the outside of turn 1, Bon Evil puts the AlphaTauri back up into 4th position, and that was just a lovely move around the outside into turn 1.
Yeah, the gap was closing on the outside, but Bonnie was able to find the room, find the traction and exit as well, and get the move down. And up into 4th place, Froza's soft tyres might be starting to go off a little bit.
Yeah,
and Tiger's gap just dropping out of the window for 5th place.
Froza's tyres definitely seem to be fading, so a 5th place could still be on here for Tiger if he manages to make his way past the beautiful black Mercedes as it makes its way into turn 10 once more then. But going back up here out in front now to Absolute 11, who's been absolutely sublime this race so far. Going on to the final lap then, a little bit of a lock up into turn 14, sure he won't care too much. Gap still 8.7 seconds before you die. They're making a move on Ted for 13th place, but has gone wide. Ted's going to try and get a cut back in maybe, but doesn't fight it back too hard. But Froza then, still on the back of Bon Evil here, Natty, down the back straight and in towards turns 14 and 15, the final couple of corners here at the Bahrain International Circuit. Froza makes a big lock up into the final corner. I thought he was going to go careering into the back of Bon Evil, but we'll have DRS now. Bonnie surely will go defensive, but Froza's going to get to the inside first, and Froza now on the inside of Bon Evil. Bonnie's tucked back into the slipstream. Can she make a move into turn 1 on the final lap of this race then? Froza makes his way back up into 4th position, and Tiger will be saying, yes, keep battling, please keep battling, because that's going to give him a chance now to close up onto Bon Evil. He still has that 3-second time penalty, don't forget, and this could really affect where Tiger finishes, but Bonnie sends it down the inside at turn 4, and Froza has to take avoiding action, but Bonnie now is back up into 4th position, and they're still ahead of Tiger, but not by enough for Bonnie to keep 4th. He's not ahead of Froza enough to keep 4th, but will Froza send it back down the inside of turn 8? Hasn't done it so far, but Froza had to take avoiding action there at turn 4. There's going to be an absolutely massive crash between those two, as now into turn 10 they go. Froza will have DRS advantage on Bonnie down this back straight. What can he do with it then into this corner, which you would argue might be his final chance to try and take back this 4th position without penalties coming into play, as now up the hill they work themselves for the final time. Let's go back up here to Absolute. So they cross the line to win the race here, and Bahrain making a one-stop work. Castello has been defeated this race and will have to settle for 2nd, but Bonnie and Froza now going wheel to wheel. Sun is going to cross the line for 3rd, but Bonnie and Froza now coming to the final lap of the race. Can Froza send it down the inside? He's chosen not to. Can he get Bonnie on the line of track? Oh, he's lost it, and Froza's nearly gone into the barrier, and he's nearly crashed out of this race, but he's going to finish ahead of Bonnie on penalties either way. Tiger comes across the line in 6th. Worthy is going to finish in 7th. J&B Surreal 8th. F1 Lover in 9th. And Guillotine making it back to the points after not setting a quali time in qualifying. He will finish in 10th position. And what a race that was at the end there.
Yeah, what an end to that race. Froza almost losing it in the barrier like Alex Albon did in practice, but yeah, Napula recovers up into 11th place, after a few incidents. Bates in 12th, but before you go in 13th, Ted in 14th after a few of his spins, and Shanks actually choosing to retire in the end from this race.
And yeah, bitterly disappointing there for Shankster. He started 2nd, but only managed to find his way up into 16th by the end of that race. Thunder, though, let's not ignore Thunder. He's just secured his first ever Gavra Racing podium finish in 3rd place on his debut for the Red Bull team in the Premier Series. So very, very well done to him as well. But don't let that take away from Absolute 11, who has been absolutely incredible here, picking up where he left off from the freshman last season with a win here in Bahrain in the Premier Series for AlphaTauri, and my oh my, was that a good race.
Yeah, it had action, it had chaos, it had everything, different strategy, you name it, and a great drive from Absolute 11. Maybe the wrong strategy for Castello in the end. I'm sure people in the Super League will be watching this and seeing how effective the one-stop has been in this race. Absolute and Thunder both making that work really well, finishing on the podium, and Froza getting an extra point for fastest lap on them.
Yeah, certainly. Yes, Thunder just reminding us there that he did actually pick up a podium in the academy. Sorry for not remembering that one, Thunder. But let's run you through your final grid positions here then. So Absolute 11 wins the race. Cash Stengel, who led for so much of the race, finishes down in second. Thunder in third. Frozer fourth. Bon Evil on penalties down in fifth. Tiger coming from 14th to 6th position. Good performance from him. J&B Surreal in 7th. F1 for the Ghanaian in 8th. Wolfie in 9th. And Guillotine rounding out the top 10 in the Williams. Napula on his return, finishing just outside the points in 11th. GSY Bates in 12th. Before You Die 13th. Ted 14th. Spanel 15th. Shankster with just horrible luck in that race down in 16th. Ben Roberts 17th. And we're getting to the first of our retirees, with Ben Roberts retiring, Joe, Isaac Smart all not being classified in that race. And that was a great way to kick off the season, but we're not done with the week's action just yet. Join Tiger and play Dutchy tomorrow in the commentary box. Don't worry, we told them to keep it PG for the Super League, which will involve the fastest drivers we have in Formula 1 here at Gavra Racing. It's a championship that me and Natty are also racing in, and another one, Natty, that I'm sure is going to be even closer than this one. But this has been a great way to kick off the season, guys. Thank you to everyone who has joined us in the chat. 43 viewers. Great racer. X-Cherry G saying Natty as well in the chat. But yeah, big thanks to everyone who raced today. He kept it very clean. No safety cars, surprisingly. I would have thought that turn 1 lap one definitely would have been something to watch about on screen. But that was honestly a really, really great race. And well done to all of the drivers here in the Premier Series. You've done yourselves proud.
Yes, so another race where tyre wear is pretty high, tough between the 1 stop and the 2 stop, so that one's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, certainly. But until we find ourselves in China next week, from me and Natty, everyone here at Gavra Racing, it's going to be goodbye from us, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you.